Zach, welcome.
Thank you, Erin.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, we're excited. We're here at Canoecopia. We got the chance to sit down with you. For those who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Zack Kruzins, and I was born in Hamilton, Ontario. My dad actually was born in Sault Ste. Marie and grew up in Wawa. And he always talked about the North Shore as superior. And I came up when I was younger quite often camping. And then I went to university at Lakehead and Thunder Bay in 2003. 2003 to 2008, I took the outdoor recreation parks and tourism program. And then I had the opportunity to get out in kayaks. And I really didn't like kayaking at first, but I fell in love with it and fell in love with the lake and the wilderness that was around northwestern Ontario, and it became my home. So now it's my home.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And from that, you went on, when I introduce you to people, I always say this is the guy who literally wrote the book on kayaking on the North Shore of Lake Superior. Yeah,
so I guess it's 20 years now I've been doing it.
Wow.
It's pretty wild. It was 2005, I think spring of 2005, I went out kayaking on the lake for the first time and broke through the ice and was ill prepared in every way possible. But being on the lake kind of gave me this life, this feeling, this zest for life, I like to call it, where I'm just I feel alive,
Yeah.
And I was lucky with the weather, and I realized after we paddled from Thunder Bay right out to Pie Island without even thinking or looking at the weather, and didn't bring radio, didn't bring wetsuits or dry suits or tell anyone where we were going, all these lemons, and we had so many lemons but not enough lemons that they all piled everywhere. We lucked out and we were able to hold on to them all. And what I think about with that analogy, because you can have one or two of those lemons just go too sour, and then it causes a problem and a problem and a problem and a problem. But I was lucky, I got through that. But then a couple years later, I heard about another colleague of mine actually dying paddling on the lake, very sadly, and it opened up my eyes. Wow, this is a really dangerous place. Mm-hmm. It deserves respect, and I had this drive and passion to just teach people about how to be safe out there.
Yeah, how to enjoy it and get out there, but do it and be able to come home.
And then I worked as a kayak guide in Rossport one summer and was inspired to learn more about the area. It was a small town, not many people around, so I spent time paddling and got to know the area really well, but I couldn't really find any information on it, so I started gathering information, talking to people that knew about it, and then eventually I put a book together on the area that we first published in 2012. It's called A Paddler's Guide to Lake Superior National Marine Conservation Area. I know I've seen you using it and other people.
Yeah.
It's just it wasn't about making money off of it, really. It was more hey, let's share safety information and critical information to kind of help people get a greater appreciation for the place. And I did it with my good friend Daryl Macon, who had done it as a school project, and he was one of my teachers while I was going to Lakehead and Outdoor Rec, and one of my mentors, and we did it collaboratively together. So it was fun.
Awesome. It's such a good book. It's such a good resource. We use it all the time, and it gives us so much knowledge for paddling in that area. So we appreciate it. I always recommend it to people. And
now we've done 4 editions. Every 4 years we say we do the Olympics. We get together and slam out changes, because it's an always ever-changing environment. It's in most of the area that it's on for the Lake Superior National Marine Conservation Area, which is we focused on it, and I gathered the data by doing a 50-day trip out into the area in 2008 with a couple friends at Lakehead, and we got some funding and sponsorship, which is a fantastic opportunity to kind of get help from the university and the local community to really get out and know that area. And that's where we gathered the data and then got inspired for this lifelong love for it. So I put the book together, and then everyone's like, oh, you should run trips out here. And I'm like, I'm going to work out west. I'm going to work in Australia. I'm traveling, I'm living, and I got my debt paid off from school. So I just wanted to enjoy a bit. And then but I kept coming back to northwestern Ontario.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I'm going to start a business. But it wasn't until 2018 that I'm like, okay, I'm going to start a business where I can take people out on the lake and share this passion with people further.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people who have done trips with you and absolutely love it. And it's it's helped them get out. They wouldn't otherwise get out on the lake, and especially for overnight trips.
Yeah, totally. So
tell me a little bit more about the business and the trips that you do and what that looks like.
Well, yeah, so I called the business Such a Nice Day Adventures. I was thinking about calling it Boreal Coast Adventures, but my really good friend Allie, that like I've been friends with all through university, she has a business called Boreal Body, making like skincare salves.
Yeah.
And as soon as I was like Boreal Coast Adventures, she's like, no, it can't be. It's got to be Such a Nice Day. And it helped me make my decision, though I thought it was weird and unconventional. I was like, I'm doing multi-day trips, but I'm calling it Such a Nice Day Adventures.
Every day of the trip is such a nice day.
Because I used to, when I worked for Outward Bound and outdoor education programs that I've done in a lot of places, I would wake people up by saying, it's such a nice day. I just like energy enthusiasts, you know?
Yep.
And I did an activity, a facilitation activity, and when I was in outdoor rec for a winter camping leadership program where I had to promote positive group culture, and we had different people playing roles and like extreme optimist and like high fiver, random facts person, all these different things that were just like kind of fun, subtle things that people would do to help promote a positive group culture, which is so important with the people you go out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the theme of what Such a Nice Day comes from, because like even though some people might be upset if I yell in the morning, it's such a nice day, it might blow them away. But that act of me doing that kind of starts my day off for positivity. And I try to do it. I might not do it all the time because it can be too much.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful.
But it's the mentality that kind of lives on with that. And really, it can be such a nice day anywhere. And even if it's snowing and raining and crazy winds and minus whatever, like you can bring the right gear, and in your mind, it's still such a nice day.
That's a great mindset. I love that.
I don't know. I don't know how. That's the way it's been going, and it's fun positivity. So.
Yeah, that's a good way to live life.
Yeah.
And tell me about the trips that you take out and guide.
Yeah, so I feel like right now it's March, and the ice starts to melt on Superior when there is enough ice, and it can create some beautiful ice paddling opportunities. And the opposite season, when I started my business, I started working as a kayak guide in Antarctica with Polar Latitudes and a few other companies, like small ship cruises where we run kayaking off the ship. So I got a lot of experience in the ice, and I've worked in the Patagonia Chilean fjords before. And then I was like, wow, when I was kind of forced a few years ago to not go on the ships with the world the way it was, I was able to spend time in the winter, and I'm like, oh man, this is great. I'm flying a drone and scouting ice and taking people out. I'm like, let's take people out ice paddling. It's a good way to get out. And I got all the right gear, all the dry suits and proper attire to help people feel comfortable and safe out there.
Safe and comfortable,
So even your mom came out.
I was gonna
paddling.
say my mom did one of the ice trips too, and she loved it, and she's looking forward to going again.
Yeah.
Actually, we're talking about possibly joining you on one of your Antarctica trips, which you just got home from spending the last couple months there. Tell us about
Antarctica is a whole world in itself. But it works well the opposite season. So generally my season is kind of from May to September-ish. And then it's hard to run a business in Northwestern Ontario with the real season when people want to go kayaking is July and August. And I even have people contemplating if they want to go kayaking in June because they're like, oh, is it too cold? And I'm trying to kind of eliminate that it's not that cold. You get the right gear, it can be such a nice day, right? And you wear the right attire, and you can have a beautiful experience. And with ice paddling in March, April, even in the May when there's still ice, I've been taking people out to paddle amongst the ice. When the weather allows, like I got to be a little bit more conscious because if it's windy and too cold, it can be. It's just I've gone out in like windy and cold ice paddling conditions, and it's just like it can a level of danger can increase rapidly. So I'm conscious with that. But I think the ice paddling is a really cool product that I like to kind of promote, and it's getting a lot of. With some of the cool drone shots that I've taken. I've done an article for the Walleye, and even like the city of Toronto did like a promo thing on ice paddling, get away from the city, and then they got to realize how far it is to actually get to the the good ice. So that's always been a challenge with where I'm operating the business, and I don't have a lot of competition because nobody else is really doing it. But it is far away from a population base, so it's neat to come here and tell people in Madison, Wisconsin, where it's like the heart of North America, and all these people from everywhere are coming together that have this like mentality of getting outside and enjoying the outdoors. And so yeah, the ice paddling, I'll do day trips, and I also do Paddle Canada instruction courses as the season kind of goes on. I just got to do that into June. If I do it in like maybe late May, I'll start doing some of that. But if I do it any earlier, there's still ice on the lake, and you get like brain freeze even with neoprene caps and the warm. So if you're tough, you can go and do it. And I'll start doing day trips as people want. So I'm going to be around the next couple of months and open to do it. But what I really specialize in is wilderness trips. 5-day trips, 8-day trips. I've even done 14-day trips to like Mishpachatan Island, some of the more remote islands on Lake Superior that involve quite extensive crossings. Self-supported trips, no boat shuttles. And what I'm offering trips where I cater the food, and I offer trips that are self-catered at a little bit lower price point, and people bring their own kayak. So the BYO kayak self-catering options seem to be more and more popular with people from the Midwestern United States and people from Southern Ontario that are coming up with their own kit, have experience, have gotten training elsewhere, and they're like, hey, I want to explore the more remote areas of Lake Superior. Let's go have such a nice day.
Hey, Paddle and Portage listeners, this is Kate from Bending Branches. If you're like us, paddling isn't just something you do, it's part of who you are. And when you're out on the water, your paddle isn't just a tool, it's your connection to the adventure. At Bending Branches, we take that seriously. For over 40 years, we've been handcrafting canoe and kayak paddles right here in northwestern Wisconsin. We obsess over every detail, making them lighter, stronger, and built to last, because we know what it's like to be deep in the wilderness, where every ounce of weight matters and every stroke counts. We test our paddles the best way we know how, by using them on winding rivers, glassy lakes, and carrying them on backcountry portages. Crafted with tradition, engineered for adventure, designed by paddlers for paddlers. So, before your next trip, stop by your local paddle shop or outfitter and find the Bending Branches paddle that's right for you. Because great adventures start with great gear, and the right paddle makes all the difference.
And what are some of the trips that stand out to you, or some things about, being on trips and guiding and getting to take people out there that is meaningful to you?
Well, it's meaningful. I put a lot of energy into building good relationships with the people I go paddling with. I don't just take anybody out, and and how it's a little bit more challenging to get to. It kind of weeds a lot of people out, like that would go to like places closer to Toronto, places closer to the Midwestern cities in the United States. And they really got to make the extra effort to go up. And people that do have more of more experience paddling, more experience camping in like rugged outdoors without any facilities, and they're more independent and more well-rounded people, I find, that are willing to go out. Like example, like the Slate Islands trip I do, there's like one small charter company out of Marathon now, the only people that take you out by boat, and it's a safer bet if you're less experienced to take a boat shuttle out to the Slates to spend time paddling around there without doing the committing crossing. But so there's no one even out of Terrace Bay offering that, and I get so many requests for that. But I like, the only real trips I run out there is paddle out and paddle back, self-supported. And as soon as I have that advertised out there, I attract the right people that are fit for that sort of trips. Like I can do 10, 12 kilometers, 6-7 mile crossing. I can do that. I have the level of confidence. They have a level of confidence in themselves that make them a really good group participant, a group member. And then people are like, wow, how do you have such good people on your trips? And I'm like, I just talk to them and get a vibe, a sense of, you got to screen them a little bit, For sure. And I make the effort to do that. And I've worked with other companies elsewhere in the world that don't put the effort in screening. And as my company grows, this is my 8th season now since 2018. It's crazy how I've evolved, and I with that I'm just more and more careful as I expand to make sure I still do the quality work of screening to get the right people on the right trips. And it's hard sometimes, because sometimes people paddle at different paces, and some people have different level of patience because they're used to paddling at a faster pace, and some people want to go slower and just
enjoy.
And it's like I've been doing my best to fit those people to the right trip, and I've been doing a good job, but sometimes it's like some people have to be a compromise, and that's the nature of the world and how you work. But yeah, those self-catered trips, the Slates, the Silver Isle, the Rossport, Puckasaw Coast, Lake Superior Provincial Park, Rossport, Hattie Cove, and then Pigeon River to Silver Islet, or Pigeon River to Amethyst I'm actually running this year. So I'm kind of covering the whole Canadian North Shore in different segments, and most of my trips are full this year. I've got a couple spots open. But yeah, people are booking more and more in advance and reaching out in advance and being like, hey, I've got this group, let's go do this. And then on top of Lake Superior trips, I do international kind of bespoke trips for people. So I've got a group of people from Toronto, city of Toronto, who I've been doing international trips with once or twice a year in my in-between seasons. So I've going to different places like Patagonia, the Hebrides Islands in Scotland. We're going to the West Fjords in Iceland, and then we're planning a trip in French Polynesia in May 26. So just planning in advance, and then Baja, Mexico in November this year. So it's hard to keep track of it all, but I've kind of got it all laid out, and I work with host companies in different countries, and it's a good relationship to get like a good quality outfitter and working with them to have a high quality experience in these places. So.
Yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of logistics that goes into that, and just hearing you talk about it, all the different moving parts that go into the nice day that you provide for everyone each and every day you're out there, but it starts a lot before that, and you do that work to make sure that people get that experience.
It's a balance of energy for me to try to figure it out, and it's just kind of having these communication skills. And I have a social media person that has been helping me just kind of keep constant with Lake Superior stuff, because that's my primary, like trying to build my business around my home there, and then do a couple international trips. And I work with Polar Latitudes a couple months a year on ships, and just a balance of how much I spend away and how much I continue to push my season. Because if I didn't go away in the winter, I could just plan a lot more, and then luckily with the internet these days, I can use it and plan on the go, and just kind of answer questions here and there, and then. But over the next couple months, I'm kind of revamping my website with some more info, and I've got to do some admin tasks to kind of get packages out to people and finalize the details. Yeah. So.
Cool. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And we have an interesting connection. I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Have you ever found a message in a bottle out on any of your adventures?
Yeah, actually. So I forget if it was 2021 or 22, a couple years ago anyway.
I forget too.
It was a few years ago now. Time flies. But I was out paddling on the coast of Lake Superior, and I did come across a message in the bottle sending love to the world from a certain couple I'm talking to right now with Erin and John. From the Lost Lakes. They did a little proposal ceremony on the Slate Islands, and sent a message of love to the world, and from the Slate Islands, and it happened to drift to the south shore of St. Ignace Island, some 100 kilometers away, 150 kilometers away, to the northwest, and ended up in the back of this cove on the beach. And I'm like, hey, there's a bottle there. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, what was that? What was finding? Have you ever found one? Like, did you see it and like think that's what it would be? Like,
well, it's the beautiful thing about the coast of Lake Superior is that you don't find garbage.
Yeah.
There's not garbage anywhere. So I'm like, there's a bottle. What? Like, occasionally I find like these old balloons, like helium balloons, when people like have a birthday. Who knows where they come from? It can come from here. Yeah. Somebody in Madison, Wisconsin might have a birthday, and they send a helium balloon off, and it ends up on the North Shore of Lake Superior. Yeah. But that's the garbage I find. But I find a bottle with like, oh my, looks like a new bottle. Like, what's going on here?
What jerk left that behind?
And so I go pick it up, and I'm like, oh, it's got a note in it.
Yeah.
Kind of cool to find.
Opened it up.
And it was you guys.
And it was us.
What a coincidence. That's how small the world is out there.
I know, that's wild. Yeah, so we got engaged on the Slates. John proposed to me out there, and then we thought it'd be fun to write a little message and send it off. And this same summer, later that summer, you texted us.
I sent him an in-reach message when I was out there, just be like, hey, I found your message, your bottle here.
So that was wild. It was that was pretty funny to have you find it and
Yeah, and he's like, oh,
share
maybe
that.
I should have sent it back off. But I'm like, oh, I got to pick up the garbage. And if I sent it back off, it would end up in the same cove. So it's like, but it's, you never know where it ends up. But it was meant to connect us.
It was meant to be. That's so funny. Do you still have it or did you toss it?
I do have it somewhere. I got to find where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it somewhere. I've got to clean up some notes and files, like papers just get stacked up. I definitely have it somewhere.
Yeah. That's cool. We'll have to reunite with it and get a picture or something. Yeah,
that's funny.
That was funny.
So that's an example, like how few people spend time out there, and the people that do spend time out there just kind of who's out there doing it, and the beauty about writing that book was getting to know the people that love and live for the lake, like the boaters and the paddlers, and there's always been kind of like some animosity towards between the boaters and the paddlers and fishermen and how they use the lake, and I remember getting an interview by I think it was somebody from Lake Superior magazine in Duluth, like when I was doing this 50-day trip. They interviewed me about and they talked to a fisherman on the North Shore that's like said that kayakers wear diapers and throw them in the woods. And I'm like, no, so she actually asked, she's like, do you actually wear diapers? Do you guys wear diapers when you go paddling? I'm like, no. But some fisherman was like just trying to pick a bone with the kayakers, like
spreading anti-paddling propaganda.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just like the way I think of it, I'm paddling out there. And boaters are paddling out, or boaters are spending time out there. We got to respect each other and just be one with each other, because there's not that many boaters, there's not that many paddlers in the area, so it's kind of nice right now, at least. Maybe things change in the future, but right now it's not that crazy, so it's a lifeline.
Coexist, yeah.
You can connect with the people. If you see a boater out there, you can have you can share the common ground and love for the lake, and have questions like, oh, where are you going, how long you been out for, and just like, yeah, maybe you're camping at a place and there's a boat anchored there, and you share a beer and share a meal and share stories, and that's the magic of it when you're out there. So, but I think there's like this mentality of people that especially spend time like Boundary Waters, Quetico, Wabakimi, wilderness canoe tripping, and then they get into sea kayaking and go or canoeing on the coast of Lake Superior, and they want that wilderness away from everybody, so they avoid talking to other people. But one of the messages in the book was like, hey, talk to the people that are out there. It's part of the cultural experience. So,
absolutely, that's a good tip for sure. And tell me so you said you grew up in Hamilton.
Yeah, so I was born in Hamilton. My dad's parents moved over from Latvia in the 40s or something, and he got my dad's grandfather got a job at Algoma Steel, and my dad was born in Sault Ste. Marie and grew up in Wawa, Ontario. And he went swimming in the lake, but he was scared because there was lamprey, and he made crazy snow forts and tunnels, and talked about the lake and traveling to the North Shore and going and playing hockey in White River and going to Fort William to play hockey when he was a kid and different things. So he knew that area. So we came up and went to like camping Lake Superior Provincial Park and the Sand River. I remember paddling the Sand River and go some of the lower parts of Lake Superior, exploring a little bit. And then, I went to in 1997 for the Scout Jamboree, the largest event.
I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know how old you were, but I was like 12.
I was 7.
7? Yeah. Nice. We're 5 years apart.
I was at Boulevard Lake, Yeah,
I was at Boulevard Lake, and there was like some 10,000 people there. It was huge. Apparently the largest event in the history of Thunder Bay. And we came up on a school bus from Hamilton, and I remember going there. I was like 12 or 13, and I was being like, wow, this place, it's clear skies, it's wild. It was in July. It was like the nicest time of year, and I just remember like seeing the lake and going swimming in Lake Superior at Pancake Bay on the way up, and just like and experiencing the things at like Sleeping Giant and around Boulevard Lake, and being like, wow, this has stuck with me. I remember meeting out the rec students that were running the rock climbing and some of the events at the Jamboree, and my dad was a leader there too, so he was like, oh, go outdoor rec. If I had the opportunity to do that program, I would do it. So I applied and I got in and moved to Thunder Bay in 2003 and never really looked back. So
that's amazing. So that kind of intro and love for Thunder Bay specifically started at the Scout Jamboree in 97.
It did, yeah.
That's so cool.
I would say I came up to the area young, like not quite as far, but to the lake in northern Ontario going camping when I was a kid. So and did canoe trips with my dad in Algonquin Park and getting to know Algonquin Park, Killarney, some of those places that stuck out in my mind was really young.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the idea of the interior going in a little bit further off the beaten path. And,
Yep.
and I think more people are just kind of seeing that and going up. And I like the other thing about the area that, like the Lake Superior National Marine Conservation Area now, it's like there's not that much people out there. You don't have to like book permits.
Yeah.
You just kind of like mutual respect of like where you go. If you're from the U.S., you can get like Crown Land use permits, or you can like talk an outfitter and rent a tarp or tent, and we can work something out for you guys to go out. And the other thing I've been doing with people that are planning their own trips is I've been doing consulting sessions for people. And if anyone's coming up to any section of the Canadian shoreline of Lake Superior and planning an extensive trip in a kayak or canoe, I'm happy to do a 1-hour session with them and charge a nominal consulting fee, go through Google Earth, go through all the details of what you need. And then, I can help rent you a tarp or a tent if you need to cover the land use fees of Crown Land. And I kind of just through word of mouth, I've been doing that over the years, and it seems to be getting more popular with people planning trips and just trying to help people out. And people are really thankful for the information that I'm able to provide for them. So
yeah, that's such an amazing thing to do, and such a great resource for people, because Lake Superior, like you said, is so, it's amazing, and it's also very dangerous and needs respect. And so to get out on Lake Superior for the first time to figure out how to do that or plan a trip and be able to experience it can be really intimidating. And I think, I think rightfully so, can be intimidating.
Yeah.
And so to provide that opportunity and have that resource to help people figure out how to get there in a capacity that's manageable and safe and start learning about it that's really, really great work.
Yeah, it's good, and I have become this expert on the area. I don't want to be. I'm pretty modest about it, but for years even I kept getting asked to do trips out in the area, and even when I was like overseas, and I'm like, I'm not back in Canada, so it was in my head. And also like the other unique thing I have access to that's a whole story of its own is this place called Narivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, it's so the people, so Jim Stevens and a couple of his friends, Rusty Evans and Dave Korowski, I can't remember his last name. I've never actually met Dave. He passed away long ago, but Rusty and Jim, they've all passed on now, but Jim I got to know fairly well, and when I was doing this fundraiser for the Lake Superior National Marine Conservation Area trip, the 50-day trip I was doing out there, he's like, hey, do you want to if you want to use Narivia, you want to take it over? Like he squatted on the land.
Yeah.
They squatted on the land in like the late 70s and built little tents, and then eventually built a sauna, and then built these geodesic domes, and they have a geodesic dome sauna with like a bunkhouse in this like secluded bay way out on St. Ignace Island. That's really in the heart of everything, and it's like really mountainous terrain and kind of tucked away. And the sun just kind of sets perfectly there, and they just kind of slurred their words when they were out fishing, having a good time, and they were like, this is like Nirvana, and then they like called it Narivia.
Yeah.
By accident, and that name just kind of stuck, and they're like, oh, let's just make our own flag and own song and own titles for Narivia, and they made an anthem, and they kind of unofficially claimed it as a sovereign nation. And Cottage Life magazine and Lake Superior magazine did like articles on it, and it got like a thing. But then the government kind of like looked into it, and they investigated how they could use this area, because they had already kind of squatted there. But to acquire it and use it and take people out there, it needed to be a Crown Land use permit. So that's kind of what it is now, and they have a fee they pay every year that I've kind of taken over now, and I stop there on the trips we go out there. But I don't have a boat that goes directly there.
Yeah.
I kind of work with Bowman Island Charters at the moment to do a couple trips out to Bowman Island, which is nearby, and then we go one way out and paddle back to Rossport, or paddle from Rossport out and get picked up. So every year I do a couple of those trips. where we go out there. And then also on the Silver Isle at the Rossport expedition, we try to spend 1 or 2 nights at the Narivian Dome site. There's plenty of sites for people to camp, and then there's like little bunks for people to stay in, and there's a barbecue and a sauna that we kind of have exclusive access to, and I contribute a portion of what people pay to come on the trip to that place to kind of keep it up and maintain it.
So cool, because that's what it's been, like you said, the kind of 3 initial founders, and then it's turned into this kind of culture of, and there's people,
and they've always kind of had it as like this is their own private space to do it, and it kind of the whole cabin culture of the North Shore. There's other places that are kind of like the same that other people kind of have ended up getting because they're old mining claims, and there's cabins there for emergency shelters, and it's kind of like do they leave them up or not? As long as people kind of respect it and like replenish the wood supply, keep it neat, and respect the use of it, and there's some places that they don't really want commercial use. And I respect that. I don't go to those places, and I kind of use Narivia for commercial use, and I contributed to it privately. And if other people want to go on their own, all they got to do is contact me and then just contribute some money to the place. And some people get upset when they hear that, but we got to try to do something. And mainly I barely cover the costs of the land use permit every year, which is like $1,000. But I've got to come up with that somewhere. So if people pay $50 a person just to go there, even if it's not in great shape, it doesn't matter. It's the sense of the place, and we've got to contribute something and to kind of keep it going. So
for sure.
So that's kind of what I've been doing for everybody that goes on that trip. Part of the fee goes into that, and it keeps it going, keeps that message alive. And I've got the title of the prodigy of Narivia, and Will is the heir, and his dad. So I work with his son, Will Stevens, Jim Stevens' son, Will, who he actually works at McKellar Marine. He's a marine mechanic, and he has a new boat now, and he goes out there and uses it as this they actually own 2 properties, 2 cabins nearby where the land use permit is. So they go and stay at those cabins, and kind of they do a little bit of work building new outhouse, kind of upkeeping the roofs of the place. And I go out when I can in the spring, try to get a group of people and go out and do like a bit of work, keep it up, and keep the dream alive, and we'll see how it goes in the future. But a lot of people kind of are interested of the mystique of that place, and the whole, they made like extensive plans for St. Ignace Island archipelago, which is like the Narivian island group, to kind of make it a protected area from logging, mining, and kind of keep it peaceful with nature, and that kind of message, like based off of what they've done, like Isle Royale National Park. It's just across the way, and it's an almost larger island than Isle Royale, and it's way more rugged and wild and wildernessy, and a huge population of moose and bears, and it's a real wild sanctuary there, and the fishing is world class as well, and it's a special place. You got to keep it alive,
I went to elementary school with Will Stevens, so
perfect. You all know people. It's
small town, small world. Great. Well, thanks so much for chatting with us. And for people who want to check out your tours, your company, your book, how do people find you? How do people get in touch?
Social media. If I'm not running it, I got Amy running it, and I've got my logo here. Nice. Stickers. They're all around. And these guys are plentiful, and you can find me on social media. It's Such a Nice Day is my name on Instagram, and then you can find me on Facebook or whatever. And the website suchaniceday.com, info at Such a Nice Day, all that stuff. And then I use texting and WhatsApp because I'm in and out of the country so much. I kind of use WhatsApp all the time for on the ship and in every country outside of Canada and the US. So I'm always connected by the phone, and easy to get a hold of. And super happy to talk with people and kind of figure out what works for them. Because I also do like the skills courses, Paddle Canada skills courses, and then I'm training to be an instructor trainer to be able to offer instructor courses, do more guide training, and then so I can have more people to offer more things, and do canoe training as well, and then shorter, like kind of 3-day trips are more accessible for people to kind of get out into the wilderness of the Rossport Islands. I'm kind of based, I have a house in Red Rock, Ontario, but I run a lot of stuff out of Rossport and Thunder Bay and even south of Thunder Bay and then along other parts of the Canadian North Shore. So.
Great. So anyone who's looking to get out on Superior and wondering how to do that, look Zack up. Reach out to him and he'll hook you up.
Yeah, thank you, Erin.
Of course. Thanks for being here. It's been lovely.
Yes, absolutely. Cheers.
All right.